In today's episode of Straight Up No Bullshit, we dive into the topic of win-win versus win-lose. We believe that for our society to truly flourish, all participants need to be winners. So by embracing this win-win approach, everyone can flourish and prosper, and we can flush out greed and selfishness and create a better world for everyone.
Welcome to the Straight Up No Bullshit, the Don Handston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners, if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your hosts, Don and Markus.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Straight Up No Bullshit, the show where we tackle tough issues and cut through the noise and the bullshit. We're so glad you're here. Don, how you going, my friend?
Everything's going great today, Markus. How about yourself?
Doing well. It's beautiful out, sun's shining, summer's here. It's the beginning of June. We're rocking and rolling, so it's all good. So today, we got some exciting things to talk about because we're going to be talking about exploring how implementing win-win situations and solutions can lead to success and growth, both personally and professionally. And we're going to share our experiences and insights, reminding us that the difficulties we often face are usually self-created and that remedies lie within ourselves. And I think everyone has an idea of what win-win means. So Don, let's dive into this real quick. And how do you define win-win situation? And why do you think it's so crucial for society to embrace this concept on a much larger scale?
Well, I think the reason why the win-win is because in today's society, it's more of a win-lose, right? In order for me to win,
right,
I need to take advantage of somebody else, or I need to be getting the better end of the deal. It's more about me. It's more about selfishness. But a lot of it has to do with people that are focused on acquiring things. They're focused on acquiring larger houses, better, bigger, better lifestyles. They think that that's going to serve them at a higher level. So, if I can edge up the price a little bit, give a little bit less, whatever they're doing, they're trying to do it for their benefit rather than everyone's benefit. And it's kind of tricky on both sides of the coin when you're trying to make a win-win, because when you want a win-win, like, in a business, right? If you own a business,
right,
you as the business owner representing the business needs to be a winner. Your workers, they need to be winners. And the people that are purchasing your services or goods or services, they need to be a winner. Right. And so it's very easy for a business owner, okay, to look at, numbers and greed. I want to drive a fancier car, live in a better house. I'm going to pay the guys a little bit less. I'm going to charge the client a little bit less, okay? Or, on the worker side of things, they want that, right? So, whatever the way is that they can create more money, maybe they do a little bit lesser job and they still create the same amount of income. They create more time, whatever it is. And then on the consumer side, right? And it's not just in business, right? It's in life. It's government versus us, the people that are governed. Okay.
Right.
You name it. Everyone needs to be a winner. And the problem that I see today is there's a lot of manipulations being done to take advantage of the masses, right? The people that follow and they want to trust and believe in other people as being ethical, being an ethical business, being an ethical government, being ethical because reputation, whatever it may be. But if people just stopped trying to take advantage of everyone, and I think a lot of it's got to do with greed too, because a lot of it has to do with if I charge more and I give less, or the government heightens the taxes and you still got crappy roads and crappy educational systems, whatever avenue you might want to put that in, there's somebody that's taking advantage of somebody else, and it's usually because of greed and power, just like anything else. And I think that if people can take their eyes off of, and I've talked about this many times before in a lot of these podcasts, if people can take their eyes and their thoughts, right, off of the actual monetary value of things, okay, and look at what makes me happy. You know, like they talk about the true gift of giving is giving. It's not receiving, it's giving, right?
Right.
And so realistically, we should be out there trying to help other people rather than simply trying to create success. Now, if you're out there helping people, you're always going to have what you want in life, and you're going to probably be happy, and you're going to be satisfied. But a lot of these people, you know, like I said, governments, organizations, doesn't matter. They're solely looking out for themselves.
Right.
But yet these are the people that have the tremendous amount of problems because, you know, life isn't about being self-serving. Life is about helping other people. You have to help yourself in order to help other people, just
True.
like love and everything. Yeah, I love yourself before you love other people. But the thing is if we're out there trying to help each other, okay, at whatever degree, first off, with money will always follow. And maybe it's not money. Maybe it's what it is that you require in life to truly make you happy and healthy and really put the connections together for a successful life. It's not about how many zeros can I get on my bank account by taking advantage of my workers, taking advantage of the government, taking advantage of customers, all right, so you got a couple extra zeros on the bank account. Good for you. I guarantee you're loaded up with problems because you've done so many things unethically that truly hurts you.
Hurts you. It hurts you mentally. And I think it hurts you spiritually as well. I think that, you know, some people say, well, karma. Well, you know, some people believe in karma, not, but you know what? I think what comes around goes around. And you know, what you were saying about, you know, if you give first, what is every spiritual, very philosophical text talked about? The more you give, it comes back to you tenfold. It might come back to you hundredfold, depending on the love and the goodness that you're kind of going out there and putting it out there. So I think, you know, one of the biggest examples, you were talking about the government doing these things, is back when, you know, the whole COVID thing was going on and we had, you know, the shutdowns, and then there were supply chain issues. And I think those supply chain issues were resolved way, way sooner than they were letting on, because guess what? They were able to charge more money because there was scarce. You know, as we know, supply and demand, when supply goes down, demand goes up, prices go up, and they're able to take advantage of that. Whereas now you see these companies, oh, we're having supply chain issues. Really? 2 years later? Come on. Now, I'm not saying that that's an absolute, you know, there's going to be some exceptions to the rule, but I think there's way too many businesses out there that are taking advantage of this whole, you know, price gouging because of, you know, so-called supply chain issues. And the government perpetuates that even more so, you know, with all the bullshit in the news and just lying to us. I mean, that's what it's coming down to. It's almost not even, well, we won't go into politics here, you know, right, left, but it's all about people that are doing good and people that are not doing good. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But even put it into this context, okay? Let's say you own a company, okay? I'm not going to point any out because I don't, you know, you got a company, and you're like, you know what? People are going to pay because they want it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's fast food. You know,
if people want it, they're gonna go buy it. Yeah,
doesn't really matter what it is. Okay, let's for the sake of telling a story, let's call it a bag of chips. Okay, bag of chips was $3-4 for bag. You know, a nice size bag of chips. Okay,
right. Yep.
Well, they say, you know what? We're gonna make the bag bigger. So bigger bag, right? We're gonna put more air in it, less contents in it. And maybe we're going to even use a different ingredient that's cheaper. Okay.
Right.
But yet it's going to look like you're getting more. You're getting way less. But instead of $4 for that bag, we're going to charge $7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. People are still buying this shit because, you know, I don't think people really pay attention. I got to have my whatever chips. And so they buy it. Well, then it gets to a crucial point where they're getting chewed alive with credit cards and inflation and all the nonsense that's going on. Well, now it starts hitting them like, wait a minute, this bag of chips is killing me. I put it on a credit card. I paid 30% interest on the credit card for $7 bag of chips that isn't even worth $4 that I was originally paying. Well,
Right.
how does that affect the person that's gouging? Okay. The person that's gouging all of a sudden says, oh my God, we're not selling that many chips.
Right.
Oh my God,
Yep.
we have to shut down some conveyors. Oh my God, we have to shut down some plants. Oh my God, we have to lay off some workers. So really, are they really helping themselves? No, it's a temporary fix, and it's no different, right, than temptation, right? Temptation. It's, I don't want to get off on religion either, but
Right.
the devil, temptation, Adam and Eve, the bite out of the apple, all of this nonsense. But the thing is people go for the money because they can, and it's called temptation. And then what happens is it ultimately creates their demise. So, people wind up thinking that they're getting what they want to get.
Right.
But really what they're getting is what they don't want to get. Okay. And if they just kept things fair and they tried to actually serve people, hey, you know what? We're going to have the same price on our chips. We're not going to put all that extra air in the bag. But you know what? We got a new ingredient that we put in there that's anti-aging, or it's going to help you out cardiovascularly or something.
Right.
There's some
In potato
kind of
chips.
benefit
That'd be good. There you
for the
go.
people, right?
Yep.
Some kind of benefit for the people rather than, you know what? These people, they're not real smart with money. They're probably going to put on their credit card, have to pay 30% interest on their credit card for overpriced bag of chips. But so they're taking advantage of these people that like they're not real intelligent about their money. But then all of a sudden, when these people don't have money to buy their chips, now they're screwed. So like that's just one example. But when we wind up trying to take advantage of other people, what happens is, a fox outsmarts a fox. Okay, himself. Okay, when somebody's too cunning, okay, and they're crafty and they're shifty and you think
Right.
that they're going to get away with something. My dad always used to say, he said, a fox outsmarts itself, and it's true. And so sometimes I think if you sit back and you say, you know what, am I really helping somebody out by doing this? Am I taking advantage of them? And you kind of sort it out, and everyone's going to have a different idea. Some people
Right.
are going to say, you could be doing your best to help people out. They're going to say he's taking advantage of me. Everybody's got a different viewpoint. But the thing is if you can go to bed, you feel good about what you're doing, and you think it through, okay, I think you're going to be making good choices, and I think that you can create that win-win. And when more people become winners, guess what? The whole environment, everyone flourishes. If I win and the guy next door fails, that doesn't help me. That hurts me.
Right.
Okay.
And like we've learned from Dr. Steve and Starman and so forth, when you put that energy out there, that win-win energy, it has a ripple effect across the entire universe. It makes it all better. So it's interesting you're talking about the bag of chips example, because if you think about it, think of all these big companies that, a lot of us we go to today, like Walmart. When Sam Walton created Walmart, it was truly a win-win-win situation all the way around. They were winning. They were making money. They were making profits left over right. The stockholders were making money. But guess what? They paid their employees a fair wage. I remember hearing stories about baggers that worked their entire life. And guess what? They retired as millionaires because they were generous with their profits. They were generous with their profit sharing. They're generous with their pension plans. And guess what? Sam was always out looking up for the best prices. So the consumer won as well. So it really was a win-win situation. But what happens, after a bunch of decades, he dies. The board takes over. Maybe the kids took over, whatever. Oh, we're going to outsource everything to China. We're going to get the cheapest shit. We're going to start reducing wages. And now they don't even have baggers. They expect us to do the bagging because everything's all electronic. So that's just one example. Other examples, I remember reading stories of, I'm trying to remember the vitamin company, Shaklee. And Shaklee was always known for the top premier supplements and vitamins and so forth. And and for decades, and everyone relied on it. And as soon as the ownership, they died and it was taken over. And again, I don't remember if it was taken over by a board or by Generation Kids or whatever. They started substituting inferior ingredients, putting in fillers, doing all these things. And guess what? The Shaklee vitamins went downhill. And their reputation went downhill as well. So it bites them in the ass to people now. You and I remember Shaklee because we, that's our, we're dating ourselves a little bit. But you talk to anyone else right now, no one knows what Shaklee is. Very few. So those are just some examples of businesses when you don't implement a win-win philosophy. Win-win-win really is what it is. But you're eventually setting the course of your company in its demise. We've always talked about, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. There's no constant. You're either growing and getting better, or you're falling to the wayside. And it may not happen overnight. It's a slow gradual. It might be only 1%. Well, guess what? 1% a day, 1% a month, in over a couple of years, couple of decades, you're going way down or you're going way up. So that's that's some of the things that I see historically. And again, with this whole environment and all this nonsense with the media, and they just tell stories. They don't even tell the truth anymore. And it's like, if we don't learn from history, it's bound to repeat itself over and over again. So we have to learn from these companies, learn from what's going on, learn from our own experiences, to make things a win-win situation. Wouldn't you agree?
I completely agree. Now, what we're both talking about, you always have to remember that there's more than one side to the spectrum, right?
Sure. Yep.
And so let's say, for instance, you have employees, right?
Right.
And you pay them based on production. Okay.
Sure.
And so obviously the more that they do, the more money they would make, which I think is a very fair system. And now all of a sudden, these workers, okay, they start producing so much more than everyone else, and they create so much more income. Okay.
Right.
Now, sometimes the boss or the company says, "Hey, we're paying too much money to these guys." Okay.
They don't. Yeah.
So then they say, we're not going to pay as much. We're going to pay it per hour.
And it's ridiculous because
change it up.
Yeah.
Now it's called cutting your nose off, spite your face. Okay.
Exactly.
So now the guys actually say, okay, well, you're going to pay us hourly, or you're going to pay us at a smaller rate or whatever. So they cut down their production. Well, when people are making money, okay, and you're paying somebody based on production, you as a company make more money. So
exactly.
It's advantageous to you as long as the quality of
I never understood that.
goods or services are still up to snuff. Now, there's another side to this. So now you have workers, right? And they say, okay, we're going to motor through this stuff. We're going to get as much done. Now, you look at the end result, the product, the satisfaction of the client, the goods or services, the quality of it, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden you realize it's not up to snuff, but they just want to make more money. Okay. So it can, it's a balance. Money is it creates greed. Sometimes you can have the best employee and you give them a raise. Okay. And it turns into the worst employee, or they take it on to a different job. I'm just going to make up numbers. Well, let's just say you got somebody and you paid him $100,000, and now we're going to pay him $200,000. I'm just making up numbers. Okay.
Right.
And that person believes I'm worth $200,000. Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they start feeling like they're above other people that don't make the same money that they make.
But that's ego. That's mindset and ego getting in the way of it.
I don't really know what words to describe it. Okay?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, they think that they're irreplaceable, right? Oh, I'm irreplaceable. I'm one of the top guys, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Well, now all of a sudden they become less relevant in your business. Okay. Now they're like, what are you going to do? Fire me? Like, you can't fire me. And the day that you think you're not replaceable is the day you're going to be looking for a job, basically, is how it works. So then they go out to the marketplace and they look for a job. Okay. And they're telling people, I want to make $200,000. Okay. Nobody's out there. Nobody even wants to pay them the original 100,000 that they made.
Right.
Well, see, a lot of times people, they're swinging the bat at the money. Okay. And they're swinging as hard as they can. And that's fine. Maybe they hit the ball and they do it really good. But a lot of times what they do is they short suit themselves. And I think that the fact that the majority of people are chasing the money,
right,
thinking that that's the happiness, that that's the end of the rainbow, that's the gold at the end of the rainbow. See how much money I can make, see how much stuff I can accumulate.
right.
And but if you stand back and you look, because I know a lot of these people, you stand back and you look at these people, and they have the most problems of anyone that I know. Their heads up, their minds twisted, their family life, their connections. They got therapists or on pharmaceutical drugs. They don't have any good friends.
Yeah.
Like, it's really kind of crazy because they're not really getting what they wanted. If they created a win-win situation, they'd have good friends. They'd probably get along with their family. They wouldn't be chasing money. They'd spend time with their family. They would spend time on themselves to kind of cleanse their mind and their soul so they could be happy. They could work on their health.
Right.
Rather than, I got to get quick, fast food because I got to get to work to make more money. So it all goes along with that win-win-win situation. And
right.
So if we start looking at life and we decide that we want everyone around us to be winners, everyone that's capable of being a winner to be a winner, then we're going to enhance our own lives and we're going to enhance the world, and the world can be a better place.
Sure.
Rather than the greed thing. It's kind of like what's gone on in the last, I don't know how long, but the transfer of wealth just keeps getting further and further apart.
Right. The divide, the middle class is disappearing.
There's really no middle class anymore.
Right.
So the people that really have the money, the real money, it's like, it's the smallest possible percentage of 1% that has more money than like 50% of the population.
99%. I've seen some interesting numbers on that. Yeah, but it's a lot.
It's off the charts. But
it is.
That's what's been going on. But those are the people. I wouldn't want to be those people. Everyone's, I wish I had that. I don't think you do.
Part of it also is realizing it's not, money's not the issue. And I want to make it be very clear about that. It's the love of money. And we talk about we won't get religious here. I'm going to talk about the Bible. I'm the last one who's going to go down that road. However, having money is important, just like having oxygen is important, just like having good relationships is important, having love in your life and those things, that's all important. But it's when it becomes the love of it, and that's all you're doing is chasing that because it becomes your God, your idol. That messes with your brain. It messes with your psychology. It pollutes what's going on in between your ears. Therefore, you start to see those problems and things happening in between their hours. And it happens time and time again. And so it's really about getting clearer and having a solid base of why you're doing what you're doing. Sure. I want to be able to make money. I want to survive. I want to be able to take, my girlfriend on great trips and do all kinds of wonderful things. However, I'm not selling my soul to do that. And as long as I got my eyes on the prize and my head straight, it's going to be a win-win situation. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Now, a lot of our dialogue in today's podcast, we're talking about, money, win-win,
right?
With money, right? But it doesn't have to be about money. It could be with kindness, could be with what you share with other people, could be with your honesty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Could be with your transparency, all the topics that I had in my book. Anyway,
right.
But really is you want whatever it is that you're putting out there for the other person to benefit from that. Okay. You want them to benefit. Okay. And if you are trying to create benefits for other people, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's a win. So if you're trying to create benefits, and it could be creating awareness, right? It could be being honest. It could be doing something for a neighbor. I had the snowblower on. I got you.
Exactly. Yep.
The package was on your porch, looked expensive. I put it in my house so you got home. Could be something simple. Okay?
Sure.
But you hope, and it doesn't always happen, but you hope that it's like that paying it forward type of mentality.
Right. The VO5 commercial.
I did that. hopefully, if they don't do it to us, that's fine, but maybe they'll do it to somebody else. But then you'll run across people. It doesn't matter what you do for them. They're not going to be happy. And,
Right.
There's animosity in between there. So it's fine. But if you're attempting to hold the door, you're attempting to help someone else be a winner.
Yep.
Like today I went into a natural doctor appointment, right?
Right.
I don't get an appointment because I know the doctor. So I just show up and people are like, oh, you're ahead of me. And I said, no, I'm after. They go, when's your appointment? I said, after yours.
Right.
And so like 3 people came in while I was waiting there. I'm like, I'm in no rush to go anywhere. So I was talking to the one girl and she says, well, what time is your appointment? I said, well, that's the thing. I don't have an appointment time and you do. So you are the next person in, not me.
Sure.
I'm waiting for everyone that's got their appointments. And when it's open, I'm going to go in. Could I go in? Yeah, the doc would see me right away, but that's not how I do it. Right.
Right.
If they have an appointment, they made an appointment. They went through what they're supposed to go through to get in there. I'm not going to jump the line and say, hey, I'm in a rush. I got, and I know the doc. I'm ahead of you. No, you got the 11:45 appointment. It's now 11:50 and there's a girl in there now. You're after her.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of the same theory applies, and it doesn't have to always be about money, right? It's got to be about doing the right thing.
Sure.
Being kind.
Yep.
Being considerate toward other people.
I always open the doors for whenever I'm anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or girl, whatever. If I can, I'll open the door for them, and it makes me feel good. I know I'm sure it helps them too. It makes them feel good, but it's as much self-serving for me as it is for them.
Right. And so today I went into one of my vendors and I said, there was this mix up in these problems or whatever. I said, and I told him, I said, I'm not one of those people that is a complainer. I said, but we don't need to focus on the problems. We need to focus on the solutions. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a problem, but it's something that you need to be aware of. So down the road, it doesn't create a problem for you. And so, yeah, I mean, he was very thankful that I came and I said it like that because I'm truthfully not a complainer, but people need to be aware where there's potential problems coming into play if they're not handled, right away.
Agreed.
So I think it's how you talk to people. It's how you treat people.
Yep.
It's about the gift of giving. It's about caring about others other than yourself. It's about just caring, right? It's the difference between people is 2 things. The guy that cares and the guy that don't. Okay. That's it. Right. Either you care or you don't care.
Right.
And I'm finding that a lot of people don't care, but I'm finding that
a lot do.
As time's getting tougher for people, they're starting to care.
Sure.
And so I think we're at a turning point. We're at a, what's the word? Precipitous, where things have to change.
Precipice. Yeah.
Whatever the word is. I'm not a big vocabulary guy.
No worries.
So the thing is we're at a point where things have to change. Okay.
Right. Correct.
And people are realizing it because a lot of times the benefit of things going down, things getting worse, is it creates a must change attitude for people. And I think that people have been on cruise control for a long time. And I think that
complacency.
And people need to say, you know what? If I want a different whatever, I have to change. It's time that I have to change. If I'm not liking, then I have to change. If it's creating hardships, then I have to change. So bad times isn't really.
There's a silver lining.
Yeah. Right. There's always a silver lining to the bad stuff. So the bad stuff opens your eyes to what the good stuff needs to be, and that's choice, right?
Exactly. Yep. If it's to be, it's up to me. And my grandfather always said, if you don't care who gets the credit, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. And that kind of works into that. And so I have an interesting story. When I bought my first house, I was living with a fraternity brother, and he decided to get married. So I was renting a room for him for about a year, and I ended up living in my girlfriend's basement for quite a few months until I'm like, you know what? I've been taking all these real estate classes. I need to be creative, right? So I wanted to buy a house. I had a great job, but I didn't have a lot of money saved up. However, I had a friend who didn't really work a lot, but he had a big settlement from, he had this accident and he got like millions of dollars from it, whatever. Anyway, make a long story short, I said, listen, let's make it a win-win situation. How about this? We buy the house. We put it 50-50. We'll put it in a land trust so that we both have control over it. And you put up the 50%, for the house as our down payment, and I'll pay the mortgage. And we did that. Got our first house in Deerfield. It was awesome. And we, lived there for a few years until I went and got my townhouse and got married. So, it's, when you have situations, cause, in the beginning, I'm like, I need to find a place to live. I need to, I want to have a house. I investing in real estate makes a lot of sense. And so sometimes you have to I'll think outside the box. Sometimes you have to be creative. Sometimes you have to think about the other person and sit in their shoes a little bit and see what do they need? He didn't have a job, so he didn't want to have monthly payments. So we found a way to make it work, and it worked out great. Again, you get to learn, a lot about people when you live with them. So it didn't last for a long time, but a few years, and it worked out great. You move on.
You said something interesting. You said you have to be creative. Well,
yep.
It goes back to my jargon, all nonsense that comes out of my mouth. You need to be the creator.
Correct.
You are the creator of your life.
Yep.
If you don't have things in your life that you don't like, create something different.
Exactly.
Don't go blaming it on other people and being the effect of other people's creations. And I do a lot of meditation and stuff. And today I was doing some meditating and I was telling somebody about our podcast about being the cause versus being the effect.
Right.
Well, I was starting to think about it, and I'm like, well, if you always are the cause, that means you're always creating. You're creating your own. Right?
Sure.
What is, and when you're the effect, okay, you're really the effect of other people's creations.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
Because if you're the effect of your own creation, it's very easy to change that, right? Just create it. Something different, something that you want. And so it's really interesting because I think a lot of these things have been put together and people don't realize that they're the creators of their own lives. And when you're the effect, whether it's an illness, whatever your problems are, and you're the effect of the environment, we can call it, really, you're just the effect of other people's creations. Okay.
Sure.
Which is relevant to this conversation we're having now.
Okay.
Because they've created something that benefits them and doesn't benefit you. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Whether you think so or not, everything in this world, everything in this universe has been created. Okay. By who? We don't know. And that's why if you're the architect, if you're the creator of your own life, okay.
Yep.
You're going to have everything that you want. But if you're just going to go along with, this is how this is, and that's how that is, and this is what happened to me because of this, well, then you're just the effect of everyone else. You're not the architect. You're not the creator, and you're not creating your own life. And so shame on you. So maybe that's beyond people's realms, but if people can realize that they can create and stop following the path that everybody else wants them to follow, and it's relevant to this because money, right? Chase money and then they have problems. Well, I mean,
attract money. Don't chase money, attract money. There's two different things.
What you want anyway.
Yeah.
Well, so you have to always sit back, be the creator. And when you're creating, okay, create something that's going to benefit everyone.
Right.
Not just you.
Right.
And I think really that's the answer. The answer is be the creator of your own life, but be the creator of goodness for others. So your environment gets better and you get better and everyone kind of lifts off. And I can't really sum it up any better than that. But if you're the creator,
you've done a great job. Yep.
And you're the architect, get your pen and paper out, draw it up where you're benefiting everyone and everything.
Agreed. Yep.
That you can.
It works great. I mean, I sat down in the beginning of this year and mapped out 5 different areas that I wanted to improve on in my life, and they're all improving. Things are moving, and I focus on it on a daily basis, and we put the wheels in motion. If you take the small little steps and the small actions, the universe has got your back and will take care of the big actions. So Don, Yeah. So Don, thank you so much. This has been a great conversation, and hopefully our listeners and viewers really got the idea that, hey, whatever's going on, whatever you're trying to accomplish, make it a win-win-win situation. Make it so everyone wins. Because you know what? Ultimately, that win is going to come back to you tenfold.
One last comment before
Sure.
we close it up.
Yep.
If you create a win for someone else, that's a win for you.
That it is. Well, folks, if you liked what you heard here today, please subscribe to our channel. And more importantly, tell a colleague, tell a friend, tell somebody about this, send them a link. And because that's our currency. We're looking to build this channel up. It's like the VO5 commercial, like Don talks about. 2 that tells 2 that tells 2 that tells 2. We've got some lofty goals, and we want to make a difference in people's lives and share ideas and thoughts and perspectives that can hopefully raise awareness, bridge the gap, bring people together versus pushing them apart, and make the world a better place. So like, subscribe, share it with friends. And until next time, we'll see you on Straight Up No Bullshit. Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Up No Bullshit, the Don Handston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspective with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.